lower with an auto blocking belay device using the method called the LSD, which stands for Load Strand Direct. I've always personally thought that was kind of an awkward acronym and an awkward thing to call this. So I like to really think of it as a defeat. You're defeating the auto blocking device. So here I'm going to rig myself up on a Black Diamond ATC guide. Here's my climber. I'm going to put their strand in the device, climber strand on top, brake hand down here on the bottom. And I like to think of it as a defeat, because whenever I set this up, I'm first going to set it up as if I was going to belay, and then I want to think about what I need to do to defeat it. Anytime we lower and we don't have like a gree, we're going to put a third hand friction hitch back up on. Here I'm using the auto block. I test it to make sure it'll hold. So I put that on first. And this carabiner that I'm going to place here on the front of the auto blocking device is going to defeat the auto blocking mode of, in this case, the ATC guide. I could use a non-locking carabiner there as well. In this case, I just had a locking carabiner on my harness, so I used it. Alright, so now my climber comes in, and again, I can kind of belay this over, but it's not nearly as smooth as the munter. That's one of the advantages of the munter. And now I'm going to lower my climber. The sail is going to lower down there, and you can see here I've got a hand dedicated to the rope and a hand down here that's going to tend that friction hitch to keep it loose so I can lower. And you can see this locking carabiner here is just not allowing the auto blocking device to lock up the rope. I can lower my climber, they can get down to where they want to go. Go ahead and stand up as if you're at the bottom, and then all I have to do is pop out this carabiner that was defeating it, and now it is in that mode where it's auto blocking. Not technically hands-free, but pretty darn close. I can take off that friction hitch and I'm ready to belay. This is a pretty common setup at a place where you're gonna start at the top of a climb, lower someone down, maybe it's a little insecure at the bottom in particular, and then you're gonna belay them back up. An area like the Uray Ice Park is what I think about, or like seaside cliffs where you're on top, there's water at the bottom, so you're not going to belay on the bottom. And just in general, we're going to belay at the top of the cliff if we have to, but also sometimes we might want to, because that way we as a belayer are on top and not at the bottom where there's rock fall. And so this is one way to do that, to lower with that auto blocking device and to belay back up.